go.
Good morning and welcome to episode 1, 4, 6, 7 of Down to Dunk. You can find us on The Athletic and anywhere else you subscribe to your podcast. Go to theathletic.com/down-to-dunk and get The Athletic for $1 a month for 6 months. I'm Luke. Joined this morning by Andrew.
But I gotta say, I'm just fired to be here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty damn cool. Slam through.
Taylor.
But first, Pearl Jam. Slam through.
And Jay.
It's Jay.
Jay, I can't read lips.
I said you're gonna have to stop moving so much. All I can hear is that.
Squeaky.
Sounds like we got some kitchen crickets in here, man.
Sorry, man. They came to join us. They got stuff to say.
They're now long-term members of the podcast.
Speaking of kitchen crickets and Fred Katz, he was on the Den Levitard show yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Did you catch that segment? It was great.
I did. Yeah, I talked to Fred yesterday about this.
Oh, that's so great. Because he was talking about the secret farter that broke the tension in the New York Knicks locker room the other night. And Den Levitard did an entire hour trying to figure out basically who it was. And they had Fred Katz on, and he was really good on it. He did a great job.
Yeah, he fits them. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So good job, Freddie.
The Thunder down 3-2 after a disappointing, what felt like almost wire-to-wire loss against the Mavericks on Wednesday night.
When you say wire-to-wire loss, you mean they started off losing and then they lost. Wire-to-wire.
I think that's right.
That's not true. That's why I said almost, though, because they started out pretty well and then didn't end very well.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't wire-to-wire. Did I need to explain what wire-to-wire?
I don't know what wire-to-wire means, I guess. I thought it meant
Don't they use that
from
phrase?
one end to but I think
That's a
I don't
common
know
phrase,
what it
right?
means.
It's a normal phrase to say.
From beginning to end.
Yeah.
But it felt like that.
I want to take just a minute. Number one is we got an incredible opportunity to go to the game, and so thankful for that opportunity.
Yeah, thanks,
Orchestrated
Andrew.
by my friend Andrew.
You did
And the
it.
Thunder.
On his birthday, he gifted
He gave us something.
on his
Cheer-
birthday.
Cheers.
It was
Wow.
awesome.
That's just typical Andrew right there.
You know what that is called?
Generosity, care,
Wire-to-wire birthday.
Reverse birthday
reverse birthday.
present.
That's probably a cool thing to do. So I'm not going to do it, but I'd love to see you guys do it.
Yeah.
I've been to a few playoff games in my life watching the Thunder, and most memorable was the 2016 Game 4 where the Thunder went up 3-1 and played really well, and it was fun, a lot of fun. I say all of that to just mention that I've never in my life in any sport at any moment been in an environment like the one the Thunder have created for this playoff run.
It's great.
I think great is even not enough. Like if you haven't been in the arena, which I know not everybody gets the opportunity, and I'm not trying to say anything like that, but it is unique and it is genuinely unbelievable. The energy in the room, the whole thing about getting people into their seats at 8:00. You've got timers in the hallways getting people in. And then from about 35 minutes before tip until tip off, it is just like a party.
The other thing that I want to point out, when you're watching the games that are in Dallas, they give everyone their shirts too. No one wears them.
It's like a whole Dallas thing. Jason Gallagher mentioned it. He's like, it's just Dallas. They just their prices went too high, and the people that buy most of the tickets aren't like people that would wear a t-shirt.
But when you're there at the Thunder game, it's 99% of people are wearing shirts. The only ones who I saw visibly that weren't were like Mavs fans. Also, huge tip to anybody that may be going to Game 7 on Monday night is if you are a little bit bigger than an XL, they don't have size down exchange, but they have size up exchange.
Yeah.
So right there outside of 105, 106, they've got some double X's and triple X's that you can go and exchange for. So
that's a very thoughtful thing they're doing.
It is. I actually
Have
asked
they always
Jay.
done that?
I don't think so.
I think they have.
Thank you, Andrew.
okay.
Andrew, I would trust you. No offense, boys.
But like
I
Katie
never know.
Russ era, they did too.
Pretty
Okay.
sure.
Well,
I've never known about it, but
You know why? Because you never have needed to know.
but it's a very nice thing.
I asked Jay. I said, "Is that an XL?" Because I thought, "Wow, Jay,
Looking thin, huh?
what's going
Yeah.
on,
No.
man?"
Nah, man.
That's
But
a
no,
nice,
that was
that's,
wrong.
That's a nice thing that they do.
Okay, let's get to the game.
Hold on, before I have something.
Mm-hmm.
Is it about your chair?
No, but it has something to say too. I'll get to that.
The chair.
But
does.
this is the thing.
I will get to that.
If you are Hanson and you are there to play the halftime show,
Mm-hmm.
you realize you must know deep in your heart of hearts, they want to hear mbop.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's what everyone
Give the
wants.
people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
There's only one thing they want.
That's it.
Hanson.
Like
Mbop.
You're Hanson.
play mbop and then play what you want, or play what you want and play mbop. Don't play a new song that no one knows because it's new, and then play Thunderstruck, which is what they did. Thunderstruck was good. Do mbop Thunderstruck, great, but do mbop.
Just play Mbop.
Give the people what they want.
It's-
Don't even have to do the entire
Listen,
song.
Just play Mbop twice. Because honestly, I did not care for Hanson playing Thunderstruck either.
Hey, I was impressed. What's the singer's name?
Taylor Hanson.
Okay, he kind of killed that though. He did a good job.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
But everyone would have rather heard mbop.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
obvious.
Yeah.
When they walked off, I almost thought it was a joke.
I know.
And it's been so long now. It would not be funny or embarrassing for them to play Mbop. It would have been like, that's awesome.
it's what
I
the people
respect
want.
it. Yeah.
It's the only thing.
It's what the people
I
It's
walked.
the only thing we
I
want.
walked into the arena and two of the Hanson brothers were just getting Freddy's burgers.
I
was
respect
like,
that.
Wow.
You should have told them. Yeah, I can't wait for
Guys
mbop.
cannot wait for Mbop.
God.
It's great.
Bop, bop, do.
That
bop.
was a disaster. That was definitely the worst part. Of, of
the
night.
national anthem was a little rough too, in my opinion.
Yeah, but that wasn't his fault.
Yeah,
It was
It
his
wasn't-
fault
it wasn't
because
not
he
his
had
fault.
no yodeling plan.
Not one yodel plan.
Have you seen his Instagram? He's trying to separate himself from the yodeling.
I don't care.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Mbop.
It's not the same thing.
It's
as
the
Mbop.
same thing.
It's not. It's
It's
not.
not even
How is
close.
it not? He
Because-
got
Not even close.
famous from yodeling in Walmart.
Not even close.
But
I don't even know who he is.
Not even
I
close.
think the levels
He does
of
have some feathered
fame
hair
are
and,
completely different.
Looked like he was wearing a silk shirt that had about 3 buttons.
That's true.
unbuttoned.
That's what he does. That's his thing.
That's what he's going for. He's like wants to be a figure skater, but without the skating.
Oh my god.
That's what the outfit looked like.
That is
Yes.
totally what it looks
That's
like.
what it
exactly
looked
right.
like.
What it was.
He looked like he was in Blades of Glory.
He looked
Blades
like
of
a
Glory.
character from Blades.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he
He's
did.
Will Arnett's
Yeah.
character. from
And
Blades.
so,
how old
yeah.
is that guy? Do I feel guilty for?
like
yeah, he's
17, I
17.
think.
yeah, 17.
No.
Yeah, now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Man,
He really
Sorry, dude.
wants
Keep
to.
doing you.
He really wants to be like a singer. Now,
But he wants to be like a singer in like Vegas.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, he looks like he's opening for Donny Osmond.
yeah, he does.
And
Well,
it's a
no,
look.
that's the
Wayne Newton.
what's
Yeah.
the place in Missouri?
Oh, Branson.
Branson.
He's
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
He's Branson.
He's going to have a
Oh, yeah.
show at Silver Dollar City.
Oh,
Not
Fire in the hole. Nothing wrong with
I've
that.
never been.
The king of Christian Vegas.
Hey,
Okay.
I wanted to just look at some stuff, and I need you to tell me if these are real. So these are the 4 factors from Basketball Reference about this series. Okay,
Mhm.
effective field goal percentage. This checks out. Mavericks 52%, Thunder 49.9%, so almost 50%.
Mhm.
Turnover 12 to 8, whatever. Offensive rebound, not as bad. It's only 3.4 difference, Mavericks favor.
Yeah, Thunder been fine.
Free throw to field goal, I don't even know what that means. I'm not going to talk about it. And then offensive rating, the Thunder for the series are actually at 111.7.
I mean, it factors in game 1.
Yeah, that swayed everything because then you have points. The Thunder up 0.2 against the Mavericks over the course of the series. I want you to tell me in this series who is shooting the best from the 3-point line
Is it
for the
Shea?
Thunder.
Is
for
it-
the Thunder.
Is it Shea?
It's Shea. At a total of 15 for the entire 5 games.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
3 a game. But that's not even fair because I don't think he shot 2 last game, I think, and then 1 the game before.
Yeah.
He needs to shoot more. from the 3-point line. So does J-Dub. J-Dub, and I know he's not making anything, it feels like, but he shot 5 of 16 from the 3-point line over 5 games, and he's shooting 31%.
Yeah.
Who's second from the 3-point line?
God, I don't know.
Jay Will.
My opinion should have probably
Jay
been
Will?
in the starting lineup instead of
Kaysen?
Isaiah Joe. Kaysen shooting.
Yeah.
Not a ton of volume. I mean, yeah, same exact volume as Shea, actually. So 15 shots. He's made 6 of them. He's 40%. Then it's Isaiah Joe, 38%. Jay Will at 36%. And then it kind of just falls off where it's Lou at 32%, who surely has the most amount. Yeah. So he has, holy crap.
Yeah, it's going to be
How many 3-pointers does Lou against Dort have for this series?
30.
30.
Yeah, 30, 35. No,
34.
Not 30. Wow.
The next closest is Isaiah Joe at 21.
Yeah.
But if you take Lou versus Chet has 20, which Chet is not shooting them very well. He's shooting 25%, 5 of 20 from the
He had
3-point
one
line.
good game from 3.
And I mean, Lou has doubled everybody but Joe and Chet.
Lou is not afraid to shoot the ball.
He's not, but he has reverted to bad Lou. And some of that is because he feels like he has to, because the offense is just so stuck. But he has to be more picky with his shooting.
I don't even know that I agree with that.
Dude, it was. You know that you're going to lose the game when they were depending on Lou to shoot, and I think the Mavericks are giving them that shot.
Bad Lou to me is a Lou Dort that's driving and pulling up and stuff like that. He's not. He's taking spot up threes that he's being passed.
Just
to.
Way too many of
But
them.
what is he supposed to do?
I don't know.
I mean,
when he receives the ball and he's open, what is he supposed to do?
I don't know. Find somebody else.
But that's not Bad Lou to me. Bad Lou is when he's driving like a crazy man.
It was just too much Lou. It was just too many.
I mean, you can blame the other players,
but I'll say this: does it
Shea?
seem like it's too much Lou because J-Dub isn't doing much? He's not finishing anything. Isaiah Joe's not hitting his shots.
Well, J-Dub is pump faking to oblivion right now.
I know, pump faking,
His
driving.
confidence
He's
is
got
so
nothing
bad
when he drives.
Well, he's doing a pump fake drive. He's like doing a pump fake with the ball, and then he's doing a pump fake with his drive, and then he passes out of it.
The Mavericks have taken away their drive. They have done it, and they've been successful.
And they know that, though.
And the Thunder haven't, but the Thunder haven't responded. The Thunder haven't responded by, and I know all of the things. They aren't putting lineups out there that are making the Mavericks pay for that. They aren't.
A lot of it is that Chet's just not making his shots.
If Chet was making shots, sure, but you also I watched. I don't love. It's hard for me to really get a larger perspective of the game when I'm in person. But there are moments where you can watch, like they are. I don't know how they're not getting more defensive 3 seconds calls for the way that they're guarding Josh Giddey when he's on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Thunder did get 21 attempts in the restricted area in Game 5.
They just missed. Not the restricted area. They just missed.
They missed everything else, but they were 16 and 21 in the restricted area. I mean, that's an improvement, like that, and that's where
what Dub said afterwards. He's like, "We got good shots, we just aren't making them."
And I went back and I watched like all of their 3-point attempts, and a lot of them were good shots, like well created shots. And I didn't even include the Dort shots, just for you, Jay.
Well, thank you.
I included like Isaiah Joe shots. There were so many where Isaiah Joe was just completely open,
2 of 8 from the 3-point line,
and he just missed.
Yeah, it was bad.
Casey Wallace.
It was
2.
If Joe would have played his normal percentages during the season, they won the game.
If the whole team did throughout the series would be over.
Yeah, and we're not. So just to be clear, we're not talking about like, oh, the Mavericks are just guarding him that well. They are. The Mavericks are playing great defense, but some of it is just literally if you took the open shots and put the open shots to regular season percentages, they would be up 3-1 or 3-2, or they'd be up 4-1 and it'd be over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, the Mavs shot 50 or 5 of 10 from the left corner, 7 of 14 from above the break, and then they were 2 of 11 from the other corner in that game. The Thunder were 2 of 9 from the left corner, 0 of 3 from the right corner, and 8 of 28 from above the break. And these were not just like forced threes, guarded threes. Oh my gosh, the defense is doing so good threes. They were normal, open threes that are generated by a really good offense. And like the Thunder, honestly, after that game, there was just like a lot of just kind of shrugging. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like we did the right things. I feel like we were able to get into our offense a lot easier. And sometimes this is just how basketball works. A lot of people want someone to blame. They want to, after, this game is over, they want to look and say, oh, it was the coaches with his rotations, or it was, a particular player. Well, they benched Josh Giddey. They didn't play Gordon Hayward.
You can't talk about that, man. I got in trouble for talking about that.
I'm just saying, like, they did the things that everybody wants them to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And still it didn't work. And it wasn't because, like, they were schemed out of it or out-coached or anything like that. If they made 6 of those threes, I charted 11 that were open. There were probably another 5 that I just clipped out because they were just okay. Like, they were good threes that were lightly contested. And I even took those out of the video that I made. There's probably 15 of those. If they made 6 of those 15, they win the game. And Mark Daigneault is a genius. He's figured out Dallas. All these things that people would say, but yet they didn't fall. And now it's like, well, now I need somebody to blame because I don't like feeling like this and I need to blame somebody for it. And that's how, but the fact is, though, sometimes basketball just doesn't go your way. Like, sometimes sports just doesn't go your way. And it's not because of rotations. It's not because of this, that. The Thunder made their decisions. And, obviously, like, not starting Josh Giddey was the right decision. Josh Giddey in this series with the starters, you guys know what the net rating is in 31 minutes?
Minus 30.
Minus 22.
Yeah, I would say there's no way it's more than the minutes played, is it? Is that possible? Minus 28.
Minus 39.7.
Yeah, it is possible.
Oh, man.
So there's data to back up that decision. What are the Thunder with Isaiah Joe in 40 minutes?
Plus 5.
Yeah, I'd say minus 8.
Plus 3.
Plus 19.5.
Wow.
Good Lord.
For the series. Same with the exact, it's kind of weird, but in 22 minutes, they're the exact same with Case and Wallison with the starters. So plus 19.5. They have good things going for them. In that game, it just wasn't their game. And I don't know what to say. I was sitting there with my wife. I can't tell you the number of times that I, said to her, that's a great shot. Right? As he's shooting it, that's a great shot. And then it just didn't go in. It felt like I was saying that all night. And I know people don't like this excuse. I know people don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear that the Thunder just missed shots and that their process was good. But when I rewatched it, like, that's what I saw. I didn't see like giant glaring mistakes that were happening on the court where they could have done this or that. They didn't like stick to the Josh Giddey starting lineup. They put him with second units, which makes sense for both Josh and the Thunder to do that. And still, it kind of sucks because it's like, oh, this is the first time that they've done it. And then like you shoot terribly whenever you like have data that like it actually really works. And now like you can say like, oh, they should have started Case and Wallace instead of Isaiah Joe. Well, if Isaiah Joe makes his open threes, we're not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like all about like the basketball going in the hoop.
Ball in hole.
Ball in hole. That's what
it's
Luke
about.
Are saying all game. You put the ball in the hole.
That's what
and then you think you can put the ball in the hole again.
I just at the beginning of like the first half, it's like Shea just needs to see the ball go in.
Yeah,
because then he can get going. Mm-hmm. Because like ball was not going in a hole.
Ball in hole.
We need ball in hole. And we finally got it.
Here's another point. That I think what's the argument for or against this? The lob defense on OKC's part, because the Mavs had. I don't know if you counted.
It was 105 of them.
It was 105 lobs executed. No, it was probably 10 to 12 points on lobs for the Mavs in that game.
Dean Blevins calls them lob slams.
Oh, does he?
Yep.
Of course he does.
When he was asking Mark
Lob
about
slam.
when he was asking Mark about it, he was
No,
like,
he said that in a presser.
oh yeah, he was
Oh
like,
my God.
there are a lot of lob slams happening. And Mark actually repeated the phrase lob slams back to him. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. He's like, well, we don't love giving up lob slams.
Dean.
It was really great. Shout out to Dean.
The
No.
thing that
No, shout out.
the thing that drives me crazy and has kind of been driving me crazy all like the entire series is when we go up to the basket to shoot, like on a drive, like they don't just slam it. They're not going for it. They like try to get like fancy with it when they think they're going to get blocked instead of going up strong. And I hate it.
I will say Chet was a lot more aggressive on his drives than when he was going to the rim, and he was better. But there were a couple fast breaks in that game. I think maybe 3 where it was a 2v2 fast break. There's one specifically where it's J-Dub and he has maybe Isaiah Joe or Shea trailing him a little bit. And on defense for the Mavs was Kyrie and THJ. And J-Dub, instead of just trying to finish strong and go, he stops and backs it up and sets up half court. I was like, no, dude.
You should go finish.
Go finish. That happened maybe 3 times in that game, and that was driving me insane.
He just doesn't. I mean, he hasn't. And part of the other reason why they're not winning games is like Chet and J-Dub just have not played well in this series.
No.
And like that is a huge.
That's it.
Offensively?
Yeah,
because I would say Chet has been good.
Yeah. Defensively, they've both been good, but offensively, they're not aggressive. They're not playing like themselves, and they're not making shots. And it feels like a little bit reminiscent of 2012 when like James Harden was awful in the finals, and it just felt like, okay, like what is this? And then he obviously like went back to the lab and got way better after that summer, and then they traded him, whatever. But J-Dub has like a big opportunity, and Chet for that matter, to like kind of grow through this situation. If they lose Saturday or if they go to 7 and lose or whatever, or even if they win, but they have like a big opportunity, over the summer to just get better and actually see this. Cause it's kind of what we've talked about all along. It's like, it's hard for young teams to win in the playoffs because they don't know how to win in the playoffs.
And that's what's, I've always, so we've talked about it all season about how a second round exit would be a successful season.
Yeah.
It feels like that changed for us. And part of it, I think, was obviously finishing first in the Western Conference. Some of that is winning 4-0 in your first round. And then the other part of it is you watch this team over these 5 games so far, and you're just like, they just should not be losing, especially losing like this. Like it feels like if they made the shots that we've been talking about, they are the better team. And so when you watch this and you're just like, why does this not feel right?
Yeah.
That's why everybody's whole entire like assumption on what this team could do has changed. It's like they should be winning these games. What the crap is happening?
Yeah.
And so that's why it's changed. But either way, like this team is learning every single time. And so I just took a quick minute and I don't know how accurate this is. It feels like it's somewhat accurate, but just to give even a little more hope is teams that have been down 2-3 that have gone on to win, right? It's only 16%, 15.9% of teams have gone down 2-3 and then come back to win the series, but it's not abnormal, especially recently. Like the Celtics last year were down 2-3 to the Sixers. The Celtics the year before were down 2-3 to the Bucks, came back and won the series. Mavericks in 22 came back against the Suns. That was the game 7 where they just ran them over. 21 Bucks, 21 Clippers, 20 Nuggets did it twice. 2019 Trailblazers. And so it's one of those things that's not abnormal.
It's been a more regular thing in modern basketball.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, because the last time it's like you have a 10-year gap from the 90s into the 80s, like there's a lot more today than there was. But
yeah,
all that to say that there is hope. I don't have a ton of it, so I hope you guys can supply it. So
yeah, I mean you just have, they just have to go win on Saturday. and you come back for a game 7, and anything can happen.
Anything is possible.
But even I think even if they lose on Saturday, like we do need to have the perspective, like this is their first year.
That's true.
Like this is year 1 of this run, and yeah, it's disappointing. But I also just think that, and Alex was kind of tweeting about this, and we were texting about it yesterday. Like, man, we have a long time to become completely unhinged. Like, the Thunder fan base, at least the online version of the Thunder fan base, is like coming completely apart. After a loss, it's like, man, I think we forgot like what the playoffs is like. I think we forgot what it's like to be in games that matter, and like the coming apart at the seams is just like a little strange and a little concerning. Where it's like, I mean, I've seen people say all kinds of things like, hey, there's only like 4 guys that are worth keeping on this roster. Everybody else needs to go. Mark Daignault needs to go. Like all these things. Like, what are you?
And
like, what
online,
planet are you from? Like, what is happening with you guys?
Yeah, that's psycho behavior.
Rational people aren't getting on after a loss to put their thoughts onto Twitter.
That's absolutely right.
Crazy rage monsters are who are doing it.
Yeah, and people that just and listen, I get it. Like this is your team. This is what you live and die for. But they're going to be back. They have a lot of moves to make. If this team doesn't win the championship, I believe that there are players that are either coming in the draft or already in the league now that will be on the Thunder championship team that aren't on the team right now. Like they have a lot of roster building to do, and they have all the tools to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They have time to do it. And yeah, this team isn't perfect. They've actually, like, the boards have not been like the major glaring thing to me in the playoffs, which I think is like, it's a really good thing for like the roster construction itself. Mm-hmm. Some of it is like they don't have the experience that they need yet, and they're getting it right now. And then some of it is like, I do think that what I think they need is a bigger wing that can defend, like to play the 4 for them. Like I think having Isaiah Joe come in or Cason Wallace is great, but what I think they really need is
Bobby Portis.
Not Bobby Portis.
Oh, okay.
I think that they need a
just got that dog in him.
A big wing that's like 6'9" that can move, defend multiple positions, shoot threes. Like that. That to me is like
Aaron Gordon,
the kind of player. He didn't shoot threes well enough. I want a better version of that.
Better version. Are those out there?
What?
I just like Flipikowski.
Yeah, Flip just gonna come in and solve it.
Flip.
Game over.
I don't know. I understand people's frustration, and I think like after maybe like if the series ends Saturday, I think maybe people will. I'm hoping that people won't freak out and also understand like this was a great season.
Yeah,
like this was
great season.
They exceeded expectations almost every way. So like Russell Westbrook didn't ever win a playoff series after Kevin left.
And this team is the youngest team to ever win a playoff series.
It is hard to win I mean, Paul George and Russell Westbrook here together never won a playoff series. It did never happen.
Yeah.
Like that happened. And I think it's okay to like celebrate those things. It's okay to celebrate like this team has done like a lot of really good things this year. They've made crazy progress.
What about LeBron? You think LeBron would be that guy?
LeBron, you think we draft Bronny?
Draft Bronny.
They had the cap space to give LeBron a pretty nice deal. I mean,
because I was thinking yesterday.
I'm just saying, no, it's definitely not happening. That is, I can for sure.
Tobias Harris.
No, God, no.
Yeah, just bring in Toby.
I was thinking, how many other teams right now would switch places with the Thunder? And I came with like
with their full roster,
everything split. I was thinking probably most. We're in a great position.
I'm trying to think like the teams that wouldn't want to, like maybe the Celtics would keep their team, the Nuggets would keep their team, maybe the Timberwolves. That's 3.
The people that are. What about any team that's not still in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think everybody else would switch.
I think everyone else would switch their entire team for exactly what the Thunder have. Not only our team, but all of our draft prospects.
Oh yeah,
draft picks.
I think it's probably those teams that I said. I think
not the Suns.
I think the Mavericks would be glad to switch, even though they're winning right now. I think the Mavericks would be glad to switch.
And so you just have to put it in perspective, like how good we have it, and how good we have it set up to be, and like it's not going. I mean, it's going to be incredibly hard to be in a better position than that.
Yeah,
and the only thing that we need to be put into a better position for that is time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, I don't, people that are just, on Twitter saying we should trade everyone or we should fire,
losing their gourd.
Fire the coach of the year or anything like that.
Those
it's like, it's
real
crazy,
people, man.
Well, I agree.
They're fake people.
Fake people.
It's AI.
That's great. That's great to know.
I agree.
We have a Tayshawn's factoid.
Nope.
We can just jump straight to TQs. How about that?
Let's do that. Let's take a quick break before we do that, and we'll be right back. Hey, we're back from that quick break. Now it's time for some Twitter questions.
Twitter questions.
You got questions and you got them on Twitter. Now we answer them for you. This is Twitter questions. Let's get down to it.
Jimmy.
All right. Our first Twitter question comes from O.G. Wiseman, who wants to know, does the hysterical online overreaction to a couple of bad games affect you emotionally?
Yeah.
I've had to tune out a bit, lest I begin to think that we're a squad of aging veterans groaning under the weight of bad contracts and without the lifting power of draft capital.
Yeah, well said. Should have just led with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I stay off of Twitter. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't do anything after a Thunder loss like this for about either a win or about 4 to 7 days, which stinks because I'm apparently pretty obsessed with basketball podcasts because I don't have anything to listen to.
If you need a podcast to listen to, I talked to Sam Vecini for an hour and a half about the NBA draft.
Yeah.
And we had like a little segment where we talked about who would be good for the Thunder.
Who are the Hawks going to take?
Probably Alex Sarr.
Man, that's going to change their whole franchise.
Wow.
It's going to change everything. It's going to be great. No,
DeJounte Murray and Alex Sarr, the future.
We talked a lot. We talked about some trades they could make, like where could Trae Young go. It's a fun little hour and a half show.
Well, Andrew, maybe you can give us a little, I don't know if this would be a sneak preview or just your own thoughts for our next Twitter question at Hoopsin OKC. Wants to know, who are your top 3 players you want to see the Thunder target this offseason? Can we draft people, or that can be?
I already said LeBron,
Bronny,
Jokic,
Aaron Gordon, but better at shooting.
Who's better at shooting Aaron Gordon?
I don't know.
Obi Toppin.
Somebody we don't even know yet.
Obi Toppin.
What about Jeremy Grant?
He's a free
Get Jeremy Grant in.
Sucks at rebounding.
That would help.
Well,
he's one of like the worst rebounders who's like 6'9" and taller in the NBA. I do still really like Kyle Filipowski. I think he's a good like shoot, pass, dribble center.
They've got him mocked somewhere between about 14 and.
Well, that means we can get him.
Oh,
that means we got him.
He's gettable. Thunder have the 12th pick.
Also, every mock I've seen is the Thunder taking some guy. I was like, do they need another guy like that? Like kind of probably a 1-2 shoot, pass, dribble, but like the kid from Tennessee, Dalton Connect.
Yeah, Dalton Connect. Yeah.
Which I think he apparently is going to go earlier, is my assumption on some of that. And then they had the guy from the G League in one of them. And then I saw Ron Holland. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Good job.
Should have had me on yesterday.
Wow.
I mean, it's good.
Can't
yeah,
shoot,
it's very
Ron
confident
Holland.
the way you're speaking.
Whatever the
about
kid
this,
from, not one of the Kentucky kids. But,
what's the guy from Tennessee?
Rob Dillingham. Is that a guy?
Dillingham, yeah.
Look at wow.
Rob Dillingham is a very
Also, is that Matchbox 20?
Rob Thomas.
That's Rob Thomas.
Rob Dillingham from Matchbox 20.
Bob Dillingham.
That's John Hamm's cousin.
I slaughtered a pig.
Why?
The ham.
That's not his name.
It's Bob Dylan. That's Bob Dylan's ham.
Cody Williams is somebody that's also being mocked to the Thunder.
6'8". Can he defend?
He's very theoretical at this point, and is I would say kind of a project right now. But he's also not a great rebounder.
But aren't the Thunder done with the project?
No.
eras?
Are the Thunder ever going to be done with projects? Absolutely.
Seems like they are.
What about Alexei Pokashevsky?
Well, so there's a player named Tijan Saloon from France who is 6'9", really long arms,
Sharpshooter,
competitive. He's definitely a project. I mean,
what about is there not party that just thinks like, just go get Zach Edey? Let's go.
there is I can't find one part of me.
He's got a 10. His wingspan is 10 feet long. He is.
But Jay, don't do that.
He's
Don't
shooting
be
threes
that
now,
guy.
right? He's
Don't be
shooting
that
threes.
guy.
Dude, have you seen him shoot threes? He's
I-
also so fast, can dribble, defend all position.
Great passer.
No, I don't want Zach Edey.
Okay, good.
If the Thunder were in the range of Klingon, I kind of like him, but he's
Yeah,
going to
but-
get top 5.
Also, if they're gonna play Chet at center, why do you need Klingon?
For backup, man.
You're gonna draft a backup center in the
Yeah.
lottery?
What else you need, man?
Isn't that what this draft is?
They're drafting backup regardless. They're not getting Aaron Gordon shooter guy.
I better than Aaron Gordon.
I'd rather take a swing at a 6'9" wing, and that's why you draft Cody Williams or Tijan Saloon or somebody like that.
Please don't draft Saloon.
Saloon is like the
Saloon.
he's like the third in
Ooh,
the
that's good.
in like
Saloon.
the
Saloon.
Poku Jang Saloon.
Perfect.
Oh,
Change the guy. Put
Huh?
Ousmane. Put Ouse in.
Put some oos on it.
Put some Ouse on it.
Sacre bleu.
Coach, do you want me to shoot the ball?
Oui, oui.
There's no problem.
I do like
Baguette.
Is he just smoking a cigarette in a beret?
Yeah. Also, because his last name is Saloon, he's like a French Western.
there's
This
a
town.
shirt there.
Yeah.
This town is not big enough for the both of us.
Wow, that was good.
Hands to the sky.
Tristan Da Silva, who was teammates with Cody Williams at Colorado, he's a 6'9". He's a senior. He's 23 years old, so he'd be like 3 years older than Kaysen. But 6'9", can shoot, can pass, can dribble.
That's him.
Is it
Really, really interesting
Was he
player.
getting mocked?
In like the late lottery, or maybe like 15
So
to
it'd be
like
a little
24.
bit early for him, but there's no real consensus because this draft is wild.
I just think you take who you think can play on this team.
Oh, not BPA? Best player available?
I think he could be BPA.
Andrew,
don't
I
know
have a
that.
question for you. Is there
not
any,
if Zach Edey's on the board.
is there any draft prospect that you are interested in
Uh-huh.
that is not 6'9"?
That is not 6'9".
Because
Cody Williams is
they've
6'8".
all been, and the one person who was brought up that's not, you're like, no.
I do like Jared McCain from Duke,
He's
Height. What is his height?
6'3".
6'8"
Huh.
and 3/4.
Wow.
I do like him. He's somebody that scored a little bit. I think there's also like another thing that's kind of surfacing for this team is like they could use maybe one more guy that can score off the bounce.
Like Trey Man.
No.
The Duke could bounce.
But you know what I mean?
The dude
I think they could use like
Yes,
one
I know what you mean.
one more creator.
I know that I think we alluded to some of that earlier in the season, but that has become pretty glaring in this postseason run, which is the other thing for Thunder fans. Like if you are in the overreaction camp, trust me, you've come to the right place. I am your guy. But like everybody because even I'm looking back at the trade deadline. The Thunder literally facilitated the trade to make this Thunder or this Mavericks team who they are.
Oh, Jay, you're stepping on the next Twitter question's toes. You want me to ask it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
And I'll
it
see
comes
if I
from
forget what I was going to say.
T Warner _golf, who wants to know if you could go back to the trade deadline, would you do anything different? If so, what? Sub question: is Hayward the worst trade deadline in Thunder history?
Maybe. I don't know what you do. Like, so what we've perceived has been Sam Presti's
Randy Foy. Sorry.
Entire, was that a trade deadline or was that
This is a trade deadline, and they traded like second rounders to get him.
That's bad. Randy Foy was theoretically going to be very helpful though.
We'd seen him be good before.
Yeah, against the Thunder in all those Nugget series. But what I was, so I'll come back to that, but I think that the general consensus from both Thunder fans, but also national media, is that Sam was going to lead this team into the playoffs and see what their ceiling is while at the same time seeing what their deficiencies were.
Mm-hmm.
That was what we've been saying all season.
How many times did we say it on this show?
All season. And that's what also like national Tim Bontemps multiple times. I think what Sam is doing is he's going to see what this team is without making any sort of wild changes to shift who they are. Yet here we are in the playoffs down 3-2 to the Mavericks. And we're thinking about immediately why we didn't do something 3 months ago to address a need that really we didn't know.
And we predicted correctly that they weren't going to do much.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think if Gordon Hayward broke his leg and couldn't play, which I think the results would be very similar to what happened.
Which he has done that.
Yes, he has.
He's got a history.
He's got a history of it. I think they would have done the deal anyways. I think the deal was just as much about the financial ramifications as it was, let's try Gordon Hayward. I think people forget that.
Yeah, it wasn't like he's going to be the perfect piece to help this team achieve who they can become. Like that was clearly not what the ultimate goal was.
I think there was some hope that maybe he could fill like a nice role for this team.
You don't think they foresaw him just not getting minutes in a playoff series?
I don't think anybody could have predicted that. It's been honestly so weird.
Baffling.
So weird.
The person behind me was counting him shooting at halftime.
Yeah.
And the person behind me, also us behind during the game, was also horribly annoying. But
you were literally using your clapper to throw paper fragments all over the entire row.
A kind old woman in front of us. That was a grandma.
Her back was covered.
I didn't realize that I was doing that. And yes, when I realized when I realized I was, did I do it more? Yes. It was funny. But she didn't know
until she got home. She's like, what in
why am I covered in this? Yes.
Also, there was a stray piece of confetti that fell in the middle of the game back onto the floor.
No, I saw that.
Drake confetti still out there.
God,
but this is why Kendrick's so mad.
It's been crazy.
Halftime, Gordon Hayward hit 10 of the 11 3-pointers he took. He can sit there and
it almost feels like Hayward's trolling us.
I've been saying it all.
How tall is he?
He's like 6'8",
6'9", probably.
6'9", I think.
Yeah.
Can he defend multiple positions?
Yeah.
Can he shoot?
Yeah, definitely.
Here's the thing: he did that this season. He did it this season.
I know.
Maybe they're just waiting until Game 6.
You want to hear? I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter.
John has 33 and
what? Oh my god! But John Hollinger tweeted that he looked back at the Charlotte season. And in the 23 games that PJ Washington and Gordon Hayward played together, Gordon Hayward outscored PJ Washington 11 of those 23 times.
Yeah, I saw that. It's bizarre.
You can't take anything from Charlotte, though. Like, Charlotte.
You can take something from the history, from who Gordon Hayward has been his entire career, though.
Yeah, I agree. It's
crazy.
It's just been absolutely strange. I think he's. But I do want to go back to the point that like they have a ton of flexibility now because they were able to get off those contracts.
feel like you're about to say something.
Yeah,
you
but
think
you know they're not gonna do
he's
anything with that except for extend their guys.
I mean, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I am guessing.
Yes, you do.
I am guessing. I don't know what they're going to do with that money. I have no idea.
You do.
But
You have an idea.
but my guess is that they're going to extend Joe and
which is
Wiggins.
fine. They're not going. Just everybody get it out of your head. Like they're not going to make. Number one, go and look for a second. We just did this. Taylor and I go look at your power forward options in this free agent class.
Yeah,
it's LeBron James, Pascal Siakam,
Obi
Tobias
Toppin.
Harris, Obi Toppin, Davis Bertans, Rob Covington.
Hey,
Like, just chill. This is not the free agent class to go all in on. Like,
but it can help facilitate a trade.
Yeah. Kurt Thomas.
That'd be awesome. The Kurt Thomas trade was unbelievable. They got 2 first
Thunder
rounders.
history, man.
2 first rounders to take Kurt Thomas into cap space. 2. That's crazy. That's a crazy.
One of them
deal.
became Kevin Durant.
Wow.
That's not true.
Let's go to our next Twitter question. It comes from @Peterman33, who wants to know, am I crazy for thinking the game plan is good and the players are just shooting poorly and not executing?
No, I think you're not crazy, actually.
I think, that
think
take
you're
makes
sane.
you not.
It's also
crazy.
what Dub said after the game. Like, that was a pretty telling press conference.
Yeah,
He's just like, y'all are going to think I'm crazy. But that was, Dub is awesome.
he's great.
Like, as a person, he seems like he's just fantastic.
yeah,
Like,
he's great.
he's like, y'all are going to think I'm insane, but I think we played really well. We just didn't make shots.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I have a question from @barstool_OKC, who says it looks like J-Dub is playing hard, but the elite closeouts and interior defense make it seem like he's getting caught between looks. What does J-Dub need to do to get back on track?
Be decisive. It's in his head a little bit.
Shoot
He
the
doesn't
ball.
know.
Shoot the ball, be decisive, and be aggressive.
Yeah.
He did something I freaked out to Luke and Taylor about. This is one of the things they've been doing is they get to the rim and we get to and I know they shot better in game 5. Excuse me, sorry. But like you get in trouble when you try to avoid a shot blocker. You have to try and go. Like, as much as we've given grief to the guys that have consistently, like Trey Murphy, every game trying to dunk on Chet, that's actually what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Dub had that one dunk on Gafford. I think it was in the 4th quarter. And I'm like,
So
you have to attack.
Where's that? been?
Especially Dub. Dub is so good at the rim normally when he's attacking. But they get there, and as soon as they get up, they're trying to go up and under.
Yeah.
They're doing something, and it's getting blocked. Even Shea at the end, the block that Luka had, like it was just trying to avoid the shot blockers in the middle. And you've got to go to them. And you're going to get blocked. Like, it's inevitable, but it's happening either way. You're still getting blocked with your timidity towards the rim. Like, be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
These shot blockers on Dallas are too athletic and fast too. It's like the only way to finish with them is to be as aggressive as possible. I think you're right.
You have
Trying to finesse around them is just not working.
But like I said, you're getting the same result finessing that you would get going to the rim. So just go to the rim.
Yeah.
Be aggressive.
And you might get more
aggressive.
Be aggressive. And you know what? It might result in more free throws too.
And also, I want him to
we
chuck
need
up. I want 10 3-pointers from Dub in this next game. I don't care if he makes one of them.
Just go get it.
Like, stop pump faking. Just be decisive. You are a great basketball player.
Yeah. The pump faking and then the fake drives have to stop.
Yeah, pump fake drive, pass it around the perimeter, wait till about 3 seconds of the shot clock, try to do something.
Yeah.
And hey, guys, adjustments can be made and will be made, and they might have a different mentality.
Yeah, I hate that's the thing that I hate the most when people are like they're just not adjusting. Like that just means that you don't know what to say. You don't know why. You know that you're mad, and you don't know enough about basketball to say something. So you just say they're not making adjustments. Cool.
They literally made the adjustment that like no other Thunder coach basically has ever done and changed the starting lineup.
They made a ton of adjustments.
Yep.
And the offense was good. As like the process of the offense was good. They got more open shots than they had all season.
They got to the rim better.
They got to the rim better. There were a lot of things that went well for them, except for the ball going in the hole.
Ball in hole.
Exactly.
Hey guys, next Twitter question. It comes from Tricky Nikki _ who says, will Giddey be on the team next season? If he is, will he be coming off the bench?
It's a great question. I do think that their hand was forced in this series. The number that we illustrated earlier, I mean, they're basically a minus 40 with him with the starters. You just can't continue to try to force that to happen. What happens in the offseason, I just don't really have a good feel for it. I really don't know. My guess, if I were forced to make a wager on this, I would wager that he'd be back on the team next year. But I don't know. I think that there are a lot
of teams out there just going, oh, I'm looking at this and this is who I want.
Yeah.
And Giddey, so I also want to be fair. Like, some series just don't work for guys. And this is clearly one of them.
Yeah.
Giddey was largely great against the Pelicans.
He had some.
He had a great 2 months left of the season. Like, he's played really well in different spots over the course of his career. This is just not his series.
Yeah.
And I think the Thunder will resign. I think they'll extend him. Now, is he long-term part of their plans and solution? Like, I don't think so. I do think it would probably be beneficial to both him and the team if he did move to a backup point guard off the bench kind of role.
Yeah.
But
then also the question is, like, is that what Josh wants? Like,
exactly.
Is there a opportunity for Josh somewhere else that would start him as like their point guard?
And he was also the only efficient person outside of Shea the other night.
He played well in that game off the bench. It would have looked a lot better if the other guys around him were making threes. Then we'd probably be sitting here today saying,
Look, that was
was a great move for the Thunder. It was a great move for Josh, but it kind of gets covered up because they missed so many open threes.
What do you think happens tomorrow night?
I am a hopeless optimist.
No. I'm not talking about, I don't want your prediction. I'm talking about what you think Josh is going to be position-wise or time-wise. Like, is he starting? Did they put him back to start? Is it Joe again?
No, I think they go with Joe again. And I think that they do the same, basically do the same thing.
You mentioned this. It wasn't a bad start to the game. Actually, it looked like, okay, this is going to be.
They can breathe a little bit now.
Yeah,
this is great.
Totally.
The offense. Like,
Chet hit a three right out of the gate.
Yeah, it was like, oh,
this is the team we've been watching all year. And then,
I think he comes off the. I just don't think you can that the Thunder can look at what happened in that game and say it didn't work because we didn't start Josh.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can do that. And I don't think I don't think you make that move. And just because you lost, and you can't say we liked our process, we liked the shots that we were getting, and now we're going to completely revert everything back.
Mark mention? I didn't listen to Mark's post game.
Yeah.
Was it similar?
Yeah, it was very similar. I just don't think you can.
Anybody
feel
seem
that
super dejected in the post game?
Not really.
Yeah.
After losses, they really haven't. It hasn't seemed to like really hit them or like phase them in like a serious way where they've. Because I don't know. There's like definitely portions of the game where I can say like, hey, this is their inexperience. Like, this is where it's showing through. It's not showing through the whole game, but there are like just portions of the game where
things feel a little rushed, or
they'll have like a turnover that was unnecessary. It happened a lot in Dallas in Game 3 in particular, where they're like throwing the ball ahead like way too far. It's like that's just like not being locked in enough.
Yeah, or there's a few where they would get the fast break and then be indecisive.
Yeah,
and somebody catch up or whatever.
Yeah, and they're just not locked in. And like that to me is an experience, because like you don't like as much as they're really doing it.
What did YouTube do when that happened?
I would have
hearts, just hearts.
I just think you have to. I think that's something you have to learn how to do.
Yeah,
it's like how to be locked in a playoff game like that. And I just don't think they know.
And we convinced ourselves.
I don't think they know how to do it.
It's not over, number one. But we also convinced ourselves that this team, like, hey, they may be young, but they're a different kind of young.
Mm-hmm.
And so who knows what kind of shot they have. They may still win. They may still win the whole series.
Yeah, they could. It could very well. I mean, you just win. You win tomorrow. Game 7 on Monday. Like it's hard to predict what happens. Gosh, I hope it happens so badly. I want to go to a Game 7 so badly. I want Monday to happen so badly. Oh my gosh.
I will be sitting at my house just stressed out of my mind.
I really need it to happen. I really, really need it to happen.
Good.
That's a good. It's one of the best. I'm pretty sure it's just like a candy bar, but
It's good.
it's
Yeah.
those Nature Valley like almond ones.
Well, this one's salted caramel nut.
It's good.
That's good.
This was good.
You want to buy it, Andrew?
No.
Treat yourself.
Good.
Are there
thank
any
you.
more Twitter questions?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Forgot we're on a podcast.
Having a snack?
There's a FriPod.
Here's one from @George Stoyev. He said, "Not a question. I'm just here to say I want to get beers with the L-Man. Thanks. Hell yeah, brother." Our next
Dude, you should do that.
Twitter question.
He's a great OU
Yeah. Great dude.
journalist, media member. What do you
Our
call
next Twitter question is not Twitter
great.
question. It's
Some
this: Are you
podcaster.
miffed? And are you piffed?
Miffed and peeved.
Are you miffed? Are you piffed?
Mm-hmm. I got food poisoning.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say from where. It's not their fault.
Starts with a Z, ends with an Orbuz.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was the salad.
Could have been
Yikes,
Could have
that's
been
salad.
something else though.
But both Kate and I ate it, and the only thing different that I ate was the salad. And actually, I think that this is real. I heard that you get food poisoning more from vegetables than you would from meat.
That's why you don't eat vegetables.
That's right.
I know. I should have listened to you.
You know who's
bro?
You know what has never given anyone food poisoning? Candy.
That's true. I've never got food poisoning
Yeah.
from candy.
Candy.
Super processed things. Not gonna get food
Candy.
poisoning
Can't do
from.
it. I want to eat
You're gonna
candy.
get cancer, but not food poisoning.
So I've had a rough
That's right.
three days. I'll just leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
No, we can fill in the blanks.
Go ahead.
You just probably are on the toilet a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You barfing?
Both.
Oh.
We're talking both ends.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
The only time I throw up is when I have some sort of food issue, like something hits me wrong. And I don't think it's ever food poisoning. It's just like my body's like, "Why did you eat that?
I've been
get
poisoned.
Let's get that out of your system."
See,
Poisoned.
I thought sometimes food just upsets your stomach, right? This one was different. This has been a
Yeah.
legitimate 3 days of
I don't think that's
Grief.
food poisoning.
yeah.
Food poisoning is like within 8 hours of eating it, and it like once. Like I don't think it's prolonged.
It's out of you and it's gone.
That's what I think.
No,
Yeah.
that's upset tummy.
Poisoned.
I don't think so.
I've been poisoned by Z or Buzz.
So
I don't believe that.
it's- First off, Zorba's is great.
It is great.
Hey, I got it because I thought it's great, and now I've been. You know the thing, like if you eat too
What if
much
you
of
got a
one
bug?
food
What
and
if
then
you
you
got a
get
bug and
sick.
you're blaming Zorba's? Because that's what happens.
What else?
Sometimes-
Who else got a bug? No one else got a bug. It's been mostly. I can tell. My body can tell. All right, listen to your body, Jay.
Listen to your heart. So
My heart says Z or Buzz.
I'm miffed and peeved. So early, I'm actually miffed and peeved. It turned into a very expensive grape one blessed. So
Okay.
my car has
My God.
in February.
Maca.
In February, I took my car to the dealership because there was like a funky noise kind of coming from the dash area.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was just the radio. I found out weird.
it's time to get funky.
Yeah, it just constantly is playing the cha-cha slide.
Man, this is funky.
There's something weird going on here. Is every time I turn a car on, it's just the cha-cha
so
slide.
much fun.
Everybody, clap your hands.
Is the cha-cha slide funk?
No.
To the left.
He does say, "Let's get funky."
I know.
Charlie Brown.
But it's not fun.
Charlie Brown.
Doop-a-doop-boop. Okay, so
go to
God,
work.
What am I
I
talking
still
about?
can't believe there's an NBA player on our team named Charlie Brown.
He's
Let's-
not on our team.
Let's turn
He
it
was on our team.
Yeah, he was
Anyway,
named
continue.
after the cartoon. So I went, had it checked out, and something happened either then or shortly thereafter,
Mm-hmm.
and my car just stopped driving the same. Everything on the road felt like I would hit a bump, and it felt like it was rattling my car to its core.
Oh.
And then the other night, so this is a week ago. This is on Sunday, almost a week ago. It was raining really heavily on Mother's Day. I went to go meet my mom
My mom.
Mom likes it. Me, mom.
for lunch.
Me,
And,
mama.
and it was raining really bad, but anytime I would hit a bump, my car was like hydroplaning when it would recatch the road. And I was like, all right, this has been happening since February, like some awkward, but it hasn't been this bad. So finally I'm like, I'm done with this. Like, I don't care if I have to replace the tires. And these tires are not even a year old, and they're
Jay.
nice tires. Like, So I go to Hibdon's on Monday, and I'm like, I can't tell you what's wrong, but please, you can have my car for the week. I don't care. Just figure out what's going on and fix it.
Yeah.
Because it was like there was not a moment. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I did this, and now all of a sudden.
Uh-huh.
So they take and they drive, and they're like, yeah, something's very wrong with the way your car's driving. So let's figure this out. Ends up, something happened in that moment or after that moment when I took it to the dealership where the alignment was like substantially jacked up. So they had to fix my alignment and replace 2 tires.
Wow.
7, because they were like, your alignment has been so bad since February, which is awesome because I took the car into Hibdon's in February and was like, something's wrong. This is not right. Will you check it? They balanced it, but they didn't check the alignment. So
you got screwed.
somebody screwed me, but I can't prove it. I have no proof. So I had to pay like $750 for 2 new tires and an alignment. But now my car drives like it's brand new. So GMB'd on the end, but a whole lot of miffed and peeved to get to that.
You got had. They did it on purpose.
I don't know, maybe, but they were so awesome. Like I even wrote them a Google review. The guys that I worked with at Hip,
that's part of the game, dude. That's part of the game.
No, it wasn't them.
That's part of the game.
The issue was the car was having problems before I took it to them. It was the people at the dealership, I think, that were the problem.
Oh, I thought you said Hibdon.
No, Hibdon's were the people I took, and they're like,
dude, the people at the dealership who are going to dupe you more than anybody.
I think so. Why do I feel that way? Because I'm so naturally skeptical of dealership.
They're duping you, man.
Let me tell you something that happened. I saw an ad at David Stanley. I will call you out, David Stanley. You screwed me so hard. I'm doing this.
This is Zorba's and David Stanley.
Wow.
I saw an ad for a Ford Explorer. It was $7,500. I needed a new car. I went and I was like, I see this Ford Explorer for $7,500. Yes, that's it. Here it is right here. Great. I have a Hyundai Elantra. I'd like to trade it in. Great. You get $4,000 for that. Great. I'm going to be financing, $5,000 after all the fees and stuff, right?
Okay.
Sign all the paperwork, blah, blah, blah. Get it all the way through. Didn't read it. Go home. Check the...
Didn't read it.
Oh, no.
Check what my balance is. I somehow owe $12,000.
Oh, Taylor,
you
gotta read
$12,000.
Where they get you?
That is where they get you,
dude. No, I paid it because I signed everything, so I just paid it off. No, this is
Taylor. That's where they get you.
Wow,
but they took advantage. I was young, right? This was my first time buying a car by myself, and the guy 100% knew it. Took complete advantage of me.
Wow.
Took my Hyundai Elantra. I know they turned that around for $7,000. So they made so much money on me, completely screwed me.
You got
David Stanley did it.
That's why
I went to the tax. I actually was so peeved about it. I went to pay my taxes on the car and told them, and they were like, "Yeah, this happens all the time with David Stanley specifically."
You got.
I don't feel bad about this at all. I'm still so mad about this.
How long ago was that?
I think David Stanley trains their salespeople to do this.
10 or more years. I mean,
was this like
it's like 10 or more years ago?
15 years ago?
I've never known that with the Ford Explorer.
I've had 2 of them, Jay. Open your eyes.
What was the name of one of them?
Old Roy.
Old Roy.
Yeah, the red one.
Yeah, I do remember.
This is a black one. This is when I was 25, so this is probably 7 years.
How old are you now?
Almost 33.
You're old.
Not as old as you freaking fart.
I'm going to work. I'm Mr. Peeves.
Saturday.
I got a day of work to do.
Saturday, game 6.
Game 6. Predictions. Predictions.
I don't make predictions.
Make 'em.
Dallas wins.
No, Jay.
Predictions.
OKC wins.
OKC wins.
OKC wins. Okay. I'm also miffed. I threw my back out on my birthday. It was terrible.
Oh, hey, we can't get into that on this pod, brother.
I wish. All right. We'll be back on Monday. Thanks so much for listening to our show. Listen, have faith. We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.